This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.
Reactions have continued to trail a satirical apology letter to the Senate President Godswill Akpabio by Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. This open letter was published on Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan's social media handles, and in it, she does restate her ongoing stance that her suspension from the Senate for 6 months stems from a sense of entitlement by the Senate President. However, this same letter says things such as regretting the, quote, grievous crime of possessing dignity and self-respect, end quote. She also says things like unforgettable failure to recognize the legislative success in certain quarters, which is apparently not earned through merit, but through what she calls the ancient art of compliance. Joining me on this conversation this morning is Naomi Nwakego. She is a communications and PR professional who joins me to assess the situation. Hello and welcome to the conversation, Ms. Nwakego.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you for joining me.
Thanks.
Let me start by getting, your initial reaction. When you saw this letter, what was your first thought as a comms and PR professional?
I would say I was a bit, will I say proud? I was like, oh wow, this is very strategic, and yeah, I would say I was a little bit amazed about the letter. That was my reaction.
There are, actually, how about when we start off with you saying that you're proud, what sort of points do you think this might score the senator in terms of the public perception?
Okay, in terms of public perception, I think this is she has been able to frame the media message to her favor in some type of way. So by the use of satire, she has amplified solidarity and maintained control of the audience tone, of the audience perception towards her. So I think through this message, she has established herself as a significant force in politics. So you can see how how people are like, oh, I stand this lady. So automatically, most people that had one or two critiques about her or had some sort of notion about her, are now like, oh wow, this is a confident woman. This is a bold woman. Like she, against all odds, she's still being very outspoken. She's still standing her ground. So I think in terms of audience perception, she has been able to gain more supporters. Message has resonated with her supporters and been able to establish her as a dominant force.
Right. So I do want to quote the last paragraph of her letter, so please bear with me. It does say, and I quote verbatim, "Please find it in your magnanimous heart, somewhere buried deep beneath layers of entitlement, to forgive this stubborn woman who mistakenly believed that her seat in the Senate was earned through elections, not erections," end quote. There are a few people who've seen this letter and particularly this part of it, and they've said that it might derail her public campaign, especially the international campaign that she embarked on before the court order that essentially restricted both sides from giving media engagements. Do you share that thought?
The one thing about the use of satire, there is a sort of narrative, if not well established, it can cause people, it can cause your audience to have a negative perspective, a negative view about you. But in this case, I really don't feel that would be the outcome, because I think it was well delivered. And looking at the situation where this letter came up in, it was a smart, well strategic situation that it was delivered in. So the use of satire, as a rhetorical weapon for her position, because she has faced a lot of critiques, a lot of criticism. She has been contradicted. So she had to use this strategy to reclaim her ground, which I think to some extent has worked in her favor. So I don't really see this as a problem to her nationally uh in terms of um in terms of political political work.
Mm.
So I think it establishes more as a dominant force than something that would be a problem to her.
Ms. Nwakego, thank you so much for joining me on the conversation. Naomi Nwakego is a communications and PR professional speaking to me this morning on a satirical apology letter that's been issued to Senate President Godswill Akpabio. This letter, written and published on social media by Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, makes light, if you like, of the current situation where she's been suspended for 6 months from the Senate. This was a suspension that was handed over by her colleagues within the Ethics Committee, and they claim that she'd flouted Senate rules. We'll continue to monitor this situation and bring you the updates as we learn of them. In the meantime, let's take a quick break here on Now Breakfast. When we return, Naira and Kobo comes your way. We're taking a look at the prices of food items across the country.
This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.